Joan Quinn Profiles. As an editor for Andy Warhol's Interview, the Los Angeles Herald-Examiner, LA Style, and Detour magazines, Joan covered the social set, the Hollywood hotshots, the international art scene, the mysteries of food, the excitement of travel, and the fabulous world of fashion. Joan continues to find creative people on the cutting edge who make things happen. Here's Joan Agajanian Quinn.
Hi, I'm Joan Quinn, and welcome to the Joan Quinn Profiles. Waiting to be profiled are actors Mitch Hara and Jennifer Sun Bell. Actor, writer, director Mitch Hara is a Syrian, Turkish, Lithuanian Jew who was born in Skokie, Illinois. And he says raised by Wolverines. We'll talk about that later. I don't know about that. He escaped to New York City, where he was invited to join the Actors Studio and studied with Lee Strasberg, Shelley Winters, and Al Pacino. You've seen him in independent films. He's been with people like Karen Black, Paul Bartel, my favorite, Sally Kirkland, another friend, and he's won a Best Actor Drama-Log Award for his Sister Coco. Who is Sister Coco?
It was the horrible and tragic life of the singing nun.
Did you write it?
No, I didn't write that one. That one I didn't write. But I played as a drag queen, mental patient nun who thinks he's responsible for the singing nun.
Oh,
it was amazing.
That's why you got an award.
Yeah.
I know. Well, I'll tell you, you've got all this other stuff going on. Turkish, what else?
Syrian, Lithuanian, Gypsy.
But the only person I ever knew from Skokie was Armenian, and you didn't throw that in.
And I'm not even Armenian.
No,
I'm just Eurotrash.
So now I met the other person, the other one person from Skokie. Is it this big?
It's this big.
That's what I thought.
Oh yeah.
So you've written, directed, acted in Cracks in the Mask. These are like really weird
Aren't
things.
They great?
Tell us about it.
Well, that was my concept of everybody, is that we're all really private and we don't tell the real story about who we are.
Oh, Cracks in the Mask.
So Cracks in the Mask, I would have the actors speak only when they were truthful, speak directly to the audience. And when they would speak to the other actors or to the other characters in the play, they were lying.
They were putting on
whoever they wanted them to think they were.
Ah, fantastic.
So,
was it a big cast?
Huge. Oh, really? that one was 8.
But that was pretty big. You directed it too?
I directed it, I was in it, I wrote it.
And then Polo Lounge, is that the Beverly Hills Polo Lounge?
That was huge, yes.
It was?
That was huge. And that was a 20-person cast. And we started at the Beverly Hills Playhouse and moved. And that was, again, yeah.
You mean you got bigger theaters?
Bigger theaters, we ran for a year.
What was that about? Just what goes on at the Polo Lounge?
Well, it's a lot what goes on in the Polo Lounge, and it's also about acting and what what your soul wants and what you get and what you settle for, and again the lying and the deception of what you tell yourselves. And
same.
So
you have a lot of
I have
that
a lot of that theme going.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like hysterical comedy, and on the flip side is the tragedy.
Did you take psychological?
No.
training?
No, I've been through.
You've been through.
I've been forced to get in touch. Well, and that was what Strasberg was all about.
Where did you go to school? Did you go to school after you left Skokie?
I went to Evanston High School, and then I went to Southern Illinois just to get my drugs going, and then
it's the only place you can get them on campus.
Oh my God, yeah. So it was genius. And then I really, at 19, I mean, my parents call it running away from home.
Yeah.
But I moved to New York and studied at the Actors Studio. I mean, I knew nothing, and I just auditioned and got right in.
But did you know you were going to be an actor?
Always, at birth.
Oh, you did?
Well, I always wanted to.
You did plays in the backyard.
I did, for myself, and especially in the shower. I do that now.
Oh, still?
Oh, yeah.
Well, that's the reason you can write all these things, because you have so many ideas rolling around in the shower.
They have to come out. They force me.
Shopping for shoes.
Shoes and a skirt and no panties.
Shopping for shoes and skirts and no panties.
What
could that be about?
Well, I actually, when I first got to New York, I didn't know, I didn't, how you go look for an apartment. Well,
Yes.
I didn't know where to look, so I wound up in like Hell's Kitchen, and so I joined this room service, the roommate service, and they kept sending me to like Iranians who were taking over Studio 54, and then somebody else who tried to like have sex with me, and then someone else wanted to which I always find flattering, but so this is that. And
This is that story?
Yeah, and the woman who wrote it had her own. I mean, the woman who was part of this roommate finders thing had her own fantasy, and she would make you play these crazy games with her.
Oh.
So her fantasy was going to a shoe store.
Oh, but this is really right about what you know.
Absolutely, it's all about. I'm not good at writing anything else but what I know.
Okay, so you wrote a one-woman play.
Yeah.
What was that about? You don't know about that, do
Well,
you?
I co-wrote it with her. She was two one-woman shows. I'm brilliant with women. I
Were
love
you
women.
in it?
In my mind, I was. No, it's a one-woman show.
You weren't? Well,
no, it wasn't
were you
me.
in drag?
I could have. No. This was a comic. It was really genius. It was showing how tough life experiences turn into comedy. So we would have her experience and then turn into the microphone into the club, where she would use the material we'd see with her father, with her mother, whatever, people died, and how she turned that into comedy. And the other one was all about this other woman's journey through analysis, 15 different types of analysis, finding who she was.
And how'd you cast it? Or did you write it for a certain person?
They came to me.
Was it a certain person?
Yes.
And
Yeah.
did she co-write it with you, that
She co-wrote-
person?
yeah, she co-wrote
I see,
that with
I
me.
see. So you, for a long time, were a staff writer at Fox Warner's on Lush Live?
Yes.
Could you use any of this stuff?
You know what? At the time, I wasn't going to because you could be blackballed. But now it's so far away, I don't give. And I love television. I should just in case anybody's watching this, and I would love it again.
At any time.
At any time.
But what did you write then? And you had to write with a group of people.
Oh, you write with 12 people. And you have to, I was so new and so naive that you have to know the ins and outs of how to actually pitch an idea without stepping on someone's toes and insulting them. So like they're saying, well, there's a camel screwing in the woods, and a bear comes by and slaps him in the face, and they bleed, and that's really funny. And so you can't say that's stupid as hell.
Right.
You have to say, I love the camel idea, and I love when they slap in the blood, but could we put it maybe in the Bahamas, and the camel would be a horse? I mean, you just have to...
Do all these people do that when they
yeah.
sit around and write?
Except the execs. Except the ones that have the high title, and they'll just go, that's stupid.
Really?
Or just
so it takes so long to put a show
12
together.
12 people write every script.
Isn't that amazing?
Amazing. And they're really talented, and it's really amazing. I mean, I worked with really talented people.
Yeah, so maybe those ideas were good ideas.
Brilliant ideas.
Changing from the desert to the
Bahamas. And I'd rather go to the Bahamas. Wear a little Speedo and slap them.
Did you ever act in any of those shows?
No.
Did they know you were an actor?
Oh, yeah. And they
didn't write an elephant role for you?
They didn't write an elephant role for me. As a matter of fact, they wrote like a little memo saying that nobody on staff could be in the shows.
Oh, they do.
Well, they did. And I think
Oh,
that
they
was
do,
for
they
me.
did.
That was a personal.
But that is interesting because you could be writing parts for yourself.
And I always did. That they always cast someone else in. So
So you were in independent films too. You've
Correct.
been in some. Have you directed or just
I
acted?
wrote. Well, I did a short called Horrible Accident, which
Oh yeah, tell us about that.
it was genius. I mean, it was a great idea. Me and Lori Petty, who was one of my best friends.
She's been on the show.
Has she?
Yeah, she's great. She's a painter.
Yeah, she's an amazing painter.
Yeah, she's very
So we
good.
met each other at the Beverly Hills Playhouse.
Oh, cause
I was standing there in ripped up jeans and a long, like, military coat and with high tops and studded crap. And here comes this crazy looking broad
I
wearing
know.
the same damn thing as me.
And no hair.
And the hair
sparked up.
standing up straight on her
Right.
head. We looked at each other and it was done. We were best
love
friends
each other
forever.
Right.
So we wrote this thing and we wanted to work together. And we wrote this thing that it was alter ego. It's like my character was Sonny and he had some horrible childhood stuff and split off. So his alter ego was 7 because it happened when he was 7.
Mm-hmm.
So Laurie was the alter ego. And I put all the bad things that I couldn't deal with into her character, and she's trying to make me see the truth.
So you made a film.
So we made a film.
Was it a full feature length?
No, it was
or
20 minutes.
Short? Oh,
It was a short
what
film.
What do you do with a short film
Well,
like
we
that?
it played in every festival in the world. And we got, awards for Best Actor. I mean, it was really dark and really great. And so...
And talking about that, in film festivals, what about No Fingerprints on My Hat?
Oh, my heart. Well,
My Heart.
I'm so excited. Doris Roberts, who's Everyone Loves Raymond, and Howie Deutsch, who did Pretty in Pink.
He's directing it?
He's directing it. So we're going to start shooting that the third week in April.
What is that?
And I wrote it.
I know, that's fabulous.
I know.
It's a great title.
And she's playing my mother.
Oh, you're going to be in it.
Yeah, I'm going to be in it. That's why he's directing it.
And Doris is your mother.
And Doris is playing my mother.
And what are No Fingerprints on Your Heart?
He's a character that had, ultimately because of all the wounds and everything, is so defended against intimacy. So don't touch no fingerprints. Don't leave any fingerprints on my heart.
Don't come
it's
too
too
close.
painful.
Yeah, I have to put it.
Yes,
you
I have to have a little
block.
scrim.
I see.
And of course, it breaks down, and he finds love, and I mean, it's hysterical, and it's like if Robert Downey Jr. This would be his life.
I'm like, he's in it too.
No, but he would be perfect for this part.
Have you cast it completely?
No.
Oh, so you're
No,
so
we're
he
still
can
open.
come in. Oh, okay.
So if I wanted to give up the part, he could play me. But I have another screenplay that people are loving right now that he could play the lead in, and I would be happy to give it up to him.
Okay, let's go to Mutant
Olive.
What a great title. Especially a great title for Syrian, Turkish, olive, all of that. Armenian, we love olives. Mediterranean.
It's really, it's a journey that I've gone through, where I get all my material and all my color.
What a surprise.
Boom, my crazy family. And it came from I was a fat kid. So, I know, thank you for that face. And my father was a little abusive and verbally, because it embarrassed him. So
that you were fat?
That I was fat. And I was fat because he wouldn't shut up.
That's why you ran away.
Oh, yeah. I couldn't run far enough. And so it came out of this my first rebellion against him. We were going to a wedding on his side of the family. And while he's telling me, he's laying out these olive green clothes that I'm supposed to wear.
Olive green.
It was all olive green and plaid, and I was still fat, so it would have made me look like a damn house.
Yes.
So that was the first time I was doing Rosencrantz and Guildenstern, this crazy 60s Matagogo version. And so in the mirror, after I had all this green, clothing on, the only thing I could think of is with a maraschino cherry in my mouth, I would look like a mutant olive. With a pimento.
Something gone too far.
Too far.
Too far.
And I actually see it now as it's also for all the different people in the world, all the mutant olives in the world that survive.
Wow. You don't need a shrink.
I know. I'm my own.
You're your own.
I keep working it out in front of people.
How do you do the costumes for something like that?
It's genius, because my director, Terry Hanauer, have you ever met her? Genius, no. Genius. She's a fabulous actor. We work together, and she's just so special. We decided I'm doing everything. I'm going to do I'm doing all the sound effects. I'm not going to have lights. I'm not going to have everything. It's all going to be, I'm creating it so the audience can picture it in their own mind.
So what about choreography, lighting?
I'm not doing, I'm going to do one light cue, and I'm going to do it.
And then what about the music?
There's going to be no music in the whole show.
Wow.
I'm going to do the music.
And tell us the theater.
It's at the Beverly Hills Playhouse on Robertson, which is Milton Katsalis.
Did you know him?
Yeah, I studied with him.
You did?
He was responsible for me doing the show.
This show?
Yes.
So it was going on for a long time.
He forced me. He forced me. You know how gentle he is. He encouraged me like a little Nazi.
He made you.
Oh yeah. He wanted me to do what he said, do a monologue. Real, not real, and that's where this came from.
He loves that monologue.
Loves it.
Especially with his good actors.
Yeah.
He loved to do that.
So I did this in front of him the year before he died, and some of it, 15 minutes of it. And
so it's like...
And he just lost his mind, and he was just like, it's amazing, and you have to do this.
So is it a 60, 90 minute? How long
It's an hour. It's about an hour and 10, an hour. And
then, so where do you go from Mutant Olive?
Well, there's a theater in New York that heard about it, so I want to take it to the Montreal Film Festival.
Oh, that's what I wanted.
To the comedy.
Yeah.
I want to do, I traveled with the nun thing.
Yeah.
But I've never done, I always started doing a one-man show and I turned it into 5 people.
Oh, that's exactly what I always thought you did, one-person shows, but they're not. That's why I was asking you about the cast.
I started with a one-man show and then all of a sudden it turned into 5 people with live rock music behind them as their alter egos.
So
and
this is the only...
This is me. This is the only time it's like my ass is up there. Like me, don't like me, here I am.
But that's what you're supposed to do, right?
It's what I do best, apparently.
But I mean, that's why you do a one-person show, to show what you can do best.
It's so revealing. It's ridiculous.
Is it fun?
It's so fun. It's such a fun journey.
And does your director try to pull you down?
No, you know what? She loves what I do so much.
Oh, so it's...
She wants the flip side. She's always going...
Does she?
Give me like today, she made me cry for 15 minutes because we were talking about a very sensitive area, and I'll make, it's my material. I've survived. We all survive by making fun.
The only way you know
how to get through it.
Right.
So I can make a joke out of anything, and she was like, I need the flip here.
I need
how
some
do
drama.
you really feel, and blah blah blah. So so it's like, get in there.
See, I told you, you don't need a shrink.
No, so here, I cried for 15 minutes and I was good with it.
And she was happy.
Oh, she was like in hog heaven.
Okay, well, we're glad you were here today. We were
You're
really
wonderful.
happy. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
And we'll be right back with actress Jennifer Sun Bell. Hi, I'm Joan Quinn, and welcome back to the Joan Quinn Profiles. I'm here with Jennifer Sun Bell, who was born in El Paso as the oldest daughter in a military family that moved around the country and Europe. She had the good fortune of being raised in the richness of 2 cultures, Korea and America. She's an actor and a singer who's been in commercials, film, and TV. With all that moving around, Jennifer, when did you decide to be an actress?
Honestly, it was once my dad got out of the Army. We moved to Atlanta, Georgia, and I just went with a friend onto the set as an extra, and I was like, wow, this is really cool. And then pretty much that was it was done for me. I was like, and I'm an actor now.
Just to be an extra?
Yeah, I just loved it, and I thought, this is so great. I started taking classes. I got an agent in Atlanta, and
is that right? Right away? Did you go to school? Did you go to college?
I started Georgia Tech.
And did they have an acting?
They do have an acting program, but I did local acting schools and with different local teachers there.
And were you in the theater there? Did they have a connection? Oh, they didn't have a connection to theater?
They do have a theater, but I wasn't part of that theater at the time.
So you had no connection to that?
No, I just went on set and just fell in love.
And decided to act?
Yeah.
Did you take singing lessons?
Not officially, no. I've taken a couple from with a friend and so forth, but my singing lessons come from church.
Is that right?
Yes.
That's a very Black cultural thing.
Is it?
Not so much, yes, because it's something that always starts in the chorus as a young child. Is that what you did?
Sort of. Our church is all the churches, because growing up in a military family, the churches that we all went to were very international, like people of all different backgrounds, because people move and
were
so
they all
forth.
Protestant, or were they Catholic, or were they
non-denominational?
Non-denominational.
Yes, yes. So and it wasn't so much a chorus, but more sort of like nowadays, especially with the big non-denominational churches, they have their praise worship teams, and it's more like an ensemble, I guess.
Oh, it is. So you joined that?
I did. I played the piano, and then I started leading music, and that's where that's where I learned to sing, really.
Oh, were you writing music too?
I've started to, yes, I have actually.
And do you have to take classes to learn how to write, or are you you're winging everything?
Something like that.
Something like winging it.
Yeah, something like that. I've written 2 songs now for 2 different projects actually.
For film.
Yes. So
And
it's easy to draw from being the experience of like being that character and to be able to put that into a song, it's been really easy to do.
It was easy. Then what about the melody? Did you write that too?
For one of them, I wrote the entire song melody and lyrics, and the other one I collaborated with a producer who was also doing the score for our short film at the time, and I just did the lyrics for that one. And well, I did the melody, but he did the arrangement, and it was his song. So
That's great. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
fun.
when you moved to LA, did you move from Atlanta to come to LA?
I did.
That was, and why did you do that?
to pursue acting and singing. Why else does everyone come here, right?
Right. So, but what was your big break then once you got here?
Let's see, I moved here, honestly, 2010 was my big break, honestly.
Really?
Yeah, when I was in Atlanta, I did a lot of commercials and small independent things. And then I moved out here about a year and a half ago. I was getting my ducks in a row, got my manager, my agent.
How'd you get all those people?
Well, I had, my very good friend is actually, we have the same manager now. And then through my manager, I got my agent.
Was it really through friends?
Yeah, sometimes it's all about who you know.
Yeah, because I wondered, was it a referral from Atlanta?
Yes.
That too.
Yes.
Oh, that's what that's
yeah.
Because it's hard to find an agent and a manager.
It is. I feel really, really blessed to have been able to come out here a year and a half ago, get my ducks in a row, and then actually my first audition was for this short film called Deadbeat.
Oh, it was?
Yes, my very first audition here in LA. And it was for the role of a half Asian, half Caucasian girl. I was like, oh, that's me, right? Because there's not a lot of those roles out there that say that. So I was like, man, this is great. So I went in and got to audition. I was a little nervous, of course, because it was my first time on on a studio. And I was like, wow, this is really,
That's fantastic.
So, and then after Deadbeat, it's like my year just kind of
Everything started
yeah,
rolling.
I
Have you been to Korea?
I have twice.
So you can draw on that part of your culture?
Oh yeah, my family is very we honor both parts, both cultures.
But you have to. It's one thing you live in America.
Yeah.
The other thing you have to visit Korea. You have family there?
We do. My mom's sisters and her nieces and nephews live over there, and my cousin.
So it helps you with that Asian part of your.
Yeah, and for me, growing up, I was very into learning about my Korean side. So
yeah. Do you speak Korean?
조금
Yes.
Yes, a little bit. I taught just interacting with my mom, and then I took an independent studies class, and I learned how to read and write. And
you can do that?
Yeah.
Wow, good for you.
Yeah, I love it. I think it's great to honor both sides.
Tell me about this lifeless role that you had.
Lifeless is a passion project, and I had actually booked it back in Atlanta like a year before I even came out here, so 2 years ago. And then funding had fallen through with the economy and everything, and then I actually went back this past April to film it. It was 30 days, and it's based on true stories, and it's trying to get the message out about child molestation and child prostitution or
trafficking. Do they do trafficking?
Yeah,
part
exactly. Child sexual exploitation and so forth.
Abuse.
Yes, and how these young girls are just kind of forced into these horrible situations. The director, Robinson Ville, he wrote it, directed it, produced it, and it's something that he had just talked to so many people who had experienced these different things, and it just kind of.
Do they talk about trafficking in the Far East? Or
no,
where?
Actually, surprisingly, Atlanta is one of the top cities in the U.S. Not a lot of people know that.
Where they bring they traffic the kids in?
Well, there's just yes. I guess that's a good way to put it.
I guess that's what they say.
Yeah, basically because Hartsfield International is there, and so you have all these people coming in from all over the world, and they're there for business for a day or two, and then at the airport, and then it's like they go off do their thing, I guess, and then they leave, and then you never know about it. So it's actually this huge ordeal in Atlanta that a lot of people just don't know about.
No.
And so we're really trying to get that
We
message out.
don't realize that the U.S. is filled with that. We talk about all these
really
foreign
sad.
countries and where they're taking young prostitutes and work people too.
I mean, we're talking young boys and girls as young as 10, 11, 12.
I know, it's
amazing. And their
amazing.
lives are just taken away from them. So So that's what that's about. It was definitely a passion project.
And what kind of role do you have in that?
I played the lead girl, Myung Hee, and she basically gets molested at a very young age by her uncle. And then her mother remarries, and it turns out that her stepfather has been drugging her and raping her, and then she runs away, and then she's picked up by a daddy and forced into prostitution, and it's her struggle to get back, get out of there and come back to her family. And so
very tough material.
Oh, it was
very tough.
It was very. I think I cried pretty much every day of that shoot.
And Deadbeat was very tough material.
Deadbeat actually was perfect, right? Because I shot Deadbeat, and then I went into Lifeless, and Deadbeat was like such a strong foundation for me to go into Lifeless.
Deadbeat is a short film.
Yes.
And it's played in all the festivals.
Yes.
Directed by
Brenda Lee Lau, who is an amazing woman and director.
And you talked about your role. I mean, it was half Asian, half white role. What was the story? Talk about that a little bit.
Yeah, it's once again, it's another film that is trying to showcase the two cultures coming together and the struggles that are entailed with that. I mean, because there are cultural differences and so forth.
It's very violent.
There is.
There's some violent scenes in it.
Yes, there is.
Francois?
Francois Chow from Lost. He played Dr. Pierre Chang. I don't know if you were able to watch Lost, but he was wonderful in that. And Kim Rhodes, who is from Sweet Life of Zack and Cody, who is amazing as well. I was so privileged to be able to work with these amazing talents.
Were you learning on the set?
Oh my goodness, yes. Are you kidding? That's what I'm here for. I came here to learn from the best, and Deadbeat is one of those sets where I was able to learn from Francois Chow, from Kim Rhodes, from Richard Tanner. It was just such a wonderful experience.
And how long did that take to shoot?
I believe we filmed that in, I think, Brenda, it was 5 days.
Oh, it was quick.
Plus 3 pickup days, I think.
Did you have to research anything for that?
I researched, running away, had to go back to those days of like, mom and dad aren't fair, and, and really try to
because you're very rebellious in that film, right?
Very rebellious. Yeah, it was kind of fun. I'm a good girl, but not in Deadbeat.
But one of the other things that you've done is worked with animals. Have you worked in film with animals, or just because you love animals?
Because I absolutely adore animals. They are like I call them my fur kids. I think of them, they're my fur kids. I think they're awesome. Trying to think if I've ever had a chance to work with no, I don't know that I've had.
So, was it in rescue situations, or?
I actually got to work as a vet tech.
Oh,
so
you did?
I assisted the doctor with all of that stuff. And then I did work in some rescue. All of my pets are rescues.
Why did you go to the vet? Just to get a job?
Yeah, just to get a job. And there was, when you're kind of searching, like, what am I going to do with my life? Should I go and be a veterinarian and so forth? And I just loved animals, and I just love working with them, yeah. So
now, tell us where your career is going. Are you taking acting lessons now?
Yes, I am.
Oh, you are? Yeah, you have to, don't you?
Well, that's why I came, because there are so many great acting teachers out here in LA that I want to tap into all of them. So yeah, I'm studying, I'm auditioning, so forth. So I'm, the daily grind.
And do you still sing and dance?
Oh, of course. I've gotten involved with my church here, so I've actually been singing and leading music there.
Oh, so you are? Oh,
yeah.
That's great.
Yeah.
Could you do a musical?
Oh my gosh, I would love to do a musical. Are you kidding, Joan?
On stage?
I would love to, yeah.
Okay, the word is out. And before we leave, can you cook Korean?
I can cook a couple of dishes.
Like
kalbi, which is the Korean short ribs.
Oh, that's pretty easy, isn't it?
Yeah, the marinade's pretty easy. Just throw it on the grill.
Okay.
Yeah, I can do fried rice, kimchi fried rice, kimchi soup.
Can you make kimchi?
No.
You have to buy it, right?
Yeah, I just buy it. I don't know how to make it. My mom does an awesome job. But
she makes it, I bet.
Yeah, she does. So.
Well, we're glad that you were with us today.
Thank you for having me. It's been such a pleasure and a lot of fun.
Thanks. And keep writing to us at 777 South Figueroa, 44th floor, Los Angeles 90017, And the email is jaquinn1@aol.com.